7 suspects in connection with a 255 million rand asbestos project appearing earlier today in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. All suspects have been granted bail. They are facing charges of money laundering, corruption and fraud. The Asset Forfeiture Unit has also been granted an order to attach assets worth something in the region of 300 million rand that belong to the suspects. eNCA reporter Aviwe Mtila is in Bloemfontein. He leads the bulletin. Aviwe, good afternoon to you. You are with the AFU, I understand. Set the scene for us. What is happening?
Certainly in the northern suburbs of Bloemfontein now, where we're expecting assets to be basically taken from some of the houses of the accused that we saw appear earlier on, just about an hour ago at the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court. We know there's 60 charges at least, Jeremy, of fraud, corruption and money laundering. Essentially, they've been given bail ranging from 50,000 rand to 500,000 rand. But just to get more on this, I'm joined by the NPA spokesperson, Sipho Mngwema. Thank you for joining us at ESA. But we heard that there possibly further arrests that are still going to happen, at least 2 in the coming days.
Yes, indeed. The prosecutor is just wrapping up some stuff. There's 2 or 3 more people that needs to be added to the charge sheet. And as soon as that is done, we should be able to start with the trial as soon as possible. So I hope by the time we come back on the 11th of November, those more accused should have been added on the charge sheet, and they should have been rounded up, and so that we can be able to add them on the dock when we come back here on the 11th of November.
Former Mayor here in Bloemfontein, Oli Mlamlela, is one of the people that appears the accused. Could she be the one? Because we understand now we're about to see some assets here. What are we doing exactly?
Yes, the Asset Forfeiture Unit got an order, a 300 million rands order to attach assets belonging to the 7 accused. So those assets have been rounded up in Bloemfontein, Johannesburg and also in KwaZulu-Natal. So, of course, we will go to the property of the 3 accused that are coming from Bloemfontein, which is the mayor, the former mayor, which is the head of department, but also the member or the guy who was in the procurement. I think it's Mr. Matlagala. So we should be going there. The order is to attach their household goods, their cars, or any other property that the Asset Forfeiture Unit, through the curator, deems fit to attach. We'll also be attaching the houses, actually, immovable property. So they will not be allowed to do anything to the properties. They will not be allowed to sell the properties or do renovations until the matter has been settled in terms of finalization.
You mentioned earlier that someone already committed crime while in the holding cells. Talk to us now they've appeared. Is that Edward Zodi, the businessman who appeared at the State Capture Commission?
Yes, there is a charge that is being investigated against him, given the fact that the allegations that he went into the cells with stacks of money and he started buying food for policemen, but also the allegation that he also bought cell phones into the cells. He sent some people to go buy him cell phones, and they was able to make calls from the cells. So those cell phones have been confiscated, and more action and more charges should be added against him in Pretoria.
Just lastly, you mentioned we're meeting again in the 11th of November. What's happening going forward? How far are we with the investigation?
As I said to you, the investigation is almost done. This is why the prosecution was able to serve indictment. But there are those 2 or 3 more suspects that need to be added as soon as that happens. And I'm sure by the 11th of November, we should know who those people are. They would have appeared, and they will join everyone on the 11th in terms of the charge sheet.
Thank you very much. Sipho Mngwema from the NPA, mentioning 2 or 3 more suspects that should be apprehended around that asbestos, 255 million rand asbestos contract. To understand 60 charges, Jeremy, around fraud, corruption, as well as basically maladministration. So we're expecting them to appear again on the 11th of November.